Hello and good evening everybody. Today in this video we're going to talk about the Paris Olympic event that happened in Paris this year, and that event was absolutely very popular. Even if I talk about the famous athletes participated into this, like Paris Olympic 2024 that was successfully held in Paris, and over like millions of people came in Paris to just watch and witness the Paris Olympic Games. By the way, from my childhood days, I don't know why, but Olympic is not that much famous compared to cricket, any other sports in India. I will talk about this thing later. Was Paris Olympic really very famous this year? Did it really become very famous? Did people really watch this Paris Olympic game from around the world? So that's why you have clicked on this video, and we're going to check it out whether it's true or false. The worst part that I like about the Paris Olympic, even the Parisians left the Paris just why? Because they did not want to watch Olympic Games. 44% of Parisians consider the games to be a bad thing according to recent polling. 50% say they would consider leaving the city to escape them. I want I want this event to be amazing, explained Paul Haiti, a Persian consular who represent the city's 17th arrondissement. But it feels more like it will be an international party in Paris without the Parisians. Just imagine a party without the Parisians. That was really true. Most of the Parisians, I believe, were fed up by this, Olympic event or something. And as I told you, 44% said that watching Paris Olympic would be the worst nightmare for themselves, and that's why they decided to leave the city though, instead of watching this long Paris Olympic Games. I believe mostly people who watch Olympic Games, they've got good command on this, or the second one, those who have gotten an ample amount of money, who could even just visit the cities like Olympic cities like Paris, Rio de Janeiro, London, or many more places like Tokyo. But when I talk about common people, I have seen they were leaving Paris. The reason was not that Paris Olympic was being held over there, just because the roads were blocked by the police officers, because they were not allowing new people to pass by. They were not allowing to people to get through it, and that's why most of the places were being locked, and people were being full checked before getting into anywhere, whether they were going into the shopping malls, they were going into the universities, colleges, or wherever. They were not allowed to exactly do that. Just why? Because the high security was tightened on that area, and that's why people were being fed up. Exactly, people were really fed up to not live in Paris for the long time. So it's a century since the French capital first held the Olympics. Back then, 3,000 athletes representing 44 countries competed in 126 medal event. This year's extravaganza will feature 10,500 athletes from 206 countries and 329 medal events. Almost 9 million tickets have been sold this year, and new records. The approach of the games has encouraged vast investment in Paris amidst the metro network is in the middle of a 200-kilometer long expansion costing 44 billion, and over 1.4 billion has been spent on cleaning of the river Seine. Just imagine, it costed approximately 42 billion amount of money to the French government, and just along with 42 billion, 1.4 billion they spent only cleaning the river Seine. But do cities benefit from holding the games? The economics of hosting the Olympics are challenging. In 2016, a review of studies examining the economic impact of the games concluded that the short-term effects are near zero, and that the long-run ones are elusive. 10 of the 13 summer games until 2016 had resulted in losses, and all of them ran over budget. Recent research by Alexander Bouzier and Bent Flyjerk at Oxford University estimates that each Olympiad overshoots its original budget by an average of 195%. In Paris, the figure is projected to be 115%. So actually, the Olympics have grown. They have attracted more media interest and larger pools of sponsorship money. At present, the IOC still remains the bulk of the game's earning from broadcasting and sponsors. Broadcasting revenue rose from 2.2 billion in 1993 between 1993 to 1996 cycle to directly 4.5 billion in 2017 to 2021. Just imagine like how the Olympic have grown up. And now when you are trying to see like broadcasters, the ones who really made these Olympic games quite famous, from the famous YouTubers to the son of Mukesh Ambani, the richest man of India, went to see Paris Olympic and went to Paris just to witness the Paris Olympics over there. And I think while top tier sponsorship jumped from 480 million to 2.3 billion over the same period, major sponsors of the Paris game include LVMH, the French luxury empire, but costs have grown even faster than sponsorship has. In 1924, the Paris Games cost around 9 million in 2022 prices. This time, the estimated cost is around 9 billion. The Parisians, or organizing committee, however, will almost certainly need to stump up more because of overrun. The private sector will foot most of the total bill, and through the IOC partners, firms, tickets, licensing, and more. So, all of the things, I would say, all this, hardened public opinion. A decade ago, voters in Munich rejected a proposal to host the Winter Olympics in 2022, as did, the Olympics over there so far. Won them instead of, Beijing won them instead, and covers an area of 800,000 square meters with fake snow. A bid for this summer's game was knocked back by the people of Hamburg. Only two cities, Paris and Los Angeles, would abiding. That was down from 9 cities wanting the 2012 games, even battling for the 2016 and 1 and 6 for the 2021s. Officials gave Paris the 2024 game and Los Angeles the 2028 ones. Recently, when I watched the interview of Prime Minister Modi, it was not an interview, it was conference, and we being heard what he was exactly talking about. He was saying to organize Olympic in India, hopefully by 2026 maybe, or 2036, sorry, by the end of 2036. Maybe he was saying, I'm not sure whether it will work or in India or not, but I think he was quite being obsessed with conducting Olympic by 2036, and that will be a great journey for India to take on. And I think this game is quite not popular in India. If I talk about people who are not quite interested to watch this game, there are many reasons behind it. And if you would see, we did not perform very well, but we did the best, I would say, according to us. But I think America was the one who won the most of the gold medals instead of other countries. And I think Japan, China, Canada become literally first in this conflict, I would say. So, the IOC seems to have learned from the episodes that has altered the way countries now bid for a competition. It has moved from a beauty contest to a collaborative means of finding a preferred partner, according to Mr. Doobie. Opponents say this is more opaque. The IOC reckons it should catch bidding caused by the person, and Brisbane is the first partner picked this way. It will hold the 2032 games. Seoul was among those miffed at the outcome. Possible host for 2036 are lining up already. At the same time, the committee wants to rein in the Olympics growth to reduce both cost and environment damages. It has capped the number of athletes for summer games and prioritized bids that require minimal new infrastructure of the new venues to be used in Paris. Only 3 are permanent purpose-built structures. Organizers hope that sublime backdrops will compensate for pop-up seating. The main concern that we should talk about, why is Olympic not famous quite in India? The reason is we always prioritize a single sport over here. Whenever you are trying to look at the sports of such cricket, and even football has become a little bit popular now in India compared to the before one event that whatever we saw and witnessed so far in our country. So what happened whenever we are looking at the cricket events, and especially I've heard this news, maybe by 2026 or 2028 the cricket will be going to get included in Olympic. Like that is absolutely shocking news to hear. What did they exactly say? But the most important part we have to understand here: why do you always prioritize only one sports? If you see, people are quite bonker about cricket. People are just like crazy about cricket. Look at the ground. Look at the people. The main reason, the way we have grown up, the way I grew up, I can't even tell you when I was born, and everybody, like especially my friends and those by whom I was surrounded with, I saw those kids were, like were just given the cricket kits by their parents. Why did not they give to their kids the, like you can say basketball, or you can say like badminton, or any other, you can say, like sports tools? But why did they give only the cricket bat to them? Because that's how they are being given the, like sports things like cricket and other things by their parents as well. So I think like we should focus, like on how to promote this kind of sports and other sports in our India as well. Even football is not that much popular compared to cricket. Cricket is predominant, like a sport in our country. So I think like we should really work upon it, so we can just really bring some medals, like next time in Paris Olympic, and by the way, next year in Los Angeles Olympic, I would say. So by the way, I would say congratulations to the Indian players, especially the athletes who got bronze medal and who got it to India, our country, very safely, and made us feel very proud. It's okay, team, you did very well. You did according to your own way, and you did whatever you could have done in that time, and finally whatever you got, that was an amazing step to do. And finally we are appreciating you, and we are just hoping best for you though. And let's see what is going to happen. People say like the place which conducts the like Olympic games, it does not generate a lot of cost over there. I would say it is not true, even though, as I told you very clearly, that how much money Paris exactly raised this year. That was exceptionally amazing money they raised this year. But the economists are saying if they would start spreading, or if they start hosting these games into several cities, like in a nation, or maybe in several countries, it is not possible to conduct a tournament in several countries at the same time. But let's talk about the several cities in a particular country. For example, if this Paris Olympic was being held in Paris, and it is as it is, by the way, and if they would have, like conducted the games and organized the games in different cities, like in Paris, that in France, that would have been amazing, and that would have been a best thing to do, I would say. But they did not do that. I don't know why did they do that. But when you see the economists, they are absolutely saying like dividing the cities or conducting the programs into different part of the cities could help the nation, or could help even the nation to like reduce the burden of like the expenses of hosting a Paris Olympic or hosting an Olympic in a city. So what will happen? Just imagine if the like the country has to spend 40 billion over just one town. Just imagine that's a Paris. What if they will start conducting the games like into several parts of France? Then don't you think like the burden of Paris, and especially the money, will be equally divided into the other stadiums and among the other like between the other stadiums, by the way? And that's how I would say like that things should have done, and I think that things can be done in upcoming years. By the way, it was just like that. Thank you very much for watching this video. It was absolutely nice talking to you. Have a good day. Take care.